Three things, and I'll make them quick, but I believe that a lot of times when we talk creativity and then in business, it scares people. And I believe because, well, I'm not that creative. I can't, because people automatically assume that when you're creating a business or have to be creative in it, you have to think of this thing that no one's ever done, that's never been, and that's what we think of when we think of creating a business. And creation simply means to bring something into existence.
View what the boss's view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association. Joe.
All right, guys, welcome to the YMA Nation Podcast, episode number 32. And I have a special guest here this evening. I know you guys like, where's Rebecca at? Tonight, though, we have a special guest. Actually, our first guest on the YMA Nation Podcast show. So I'm honored to have you here. Good friend of mine, really good friend, like family. And if you're on right now, make sure you take 10 seconds, like, comment, and subscribe. Down in the comment section, make sure you hashtag YMA Nation so you'll be able to go into our cash drawing at the end of this month. So let's get started. I am Joe Wallace, and our special guest today, we have Chris Jefferson, better known as Ceej.
What's happening? That's how you do when you're comfortable. You say, what's happening?
He's comfortable, and he's a guru. So don't let the hand
right.
sign and all that
That's
fool
right.
you.
I know I'm not as I might not be as appealing as Miss Rebecca, but look, I'm just honored to be sitting here.
Mastermind right here. So tell us, like, one, how did you get the name Ceej?
Man, it's Ceej. So my name is Chris Jefferson, obviously.
Okay.
But it actually is a stage name, and one of my partners, Grade A. Shout out to Grade A. It used to be Siege.
Okay.
Like under siege. And he said, you know what? We need to change it. We need to spell it differently, make it more unique. So it's Ceej, and it actually means Christ, esteem, elevating Jesus.
Wow.
That's what Ceej
Who
means.
would have thought that it was an acronym, a Christian related acronym?
And that's what Ceej means. And then you have to go back to one of my old albums to know that. That's a bonus right there. If somebody can comment that, then you're a for real fan.
So not under just business, you also do music.
Absolutely. That's my first love. That's been my parallel to everything has been music and what I'm doing with that. Okay.
So if someone right now was like, oh, he does music, let me pull him up, how would they find you?
Right. You're going to go to www.elephantgroup.com. That's elephant without the A. So ELEPHNT group.com. Easiest way to do it, it'll take you to everything you need from there.
There you go. Ceej. So, man, today we are talking about how to spark your creativity for success.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason I chose this topic, because you also teach on creativity in business, and you got a nonprofit. So, I mean, you do a lot.
A lot, man. A lot of hats. And this is my love. I love to teach. I love to be taught first. Then I love to teach. And so, so this is my thing right here.
Did you guys catch that? He says, I love to be taught first. Like, it doesn't matter what level you're on, you should always remain a student.
Always.
I
remain
remember
in
in
eighth grade, I got most coachable award for sports. So that's who I am.
So tell us a background, like, what do you do, like a normal day for you?
My day trade during the day, I work at Carver Middle School. I'm the parent facilitator. I stepped down from a position I was probably getting paid 3 times more, just in all honesty. My background is in finance.
Okay.
So I managed finance companies for years, and I stepped into that because I understood what my passion was, and I also understood the flexibility that it can bring,
right,
and some visions that I had, and would put me actually in a better position. I excused the now for the later, for what I seen.
I'm gonna move the mic just a tad bit closer.
There we go.
Okay.
And so I'm at the school, and we are located downtown at the Montgomery building, and that's where we house Elephant Group and our nonprofit Bars Academy. And for the past 2 months, I have been man, it's working on something very exclusive that I cannot wait to launch. But I have a new business venture, launching very, very soon. So
Interesting.
I'm excited about it.
So your nonprofit, like, what does that entail?
Bars Academy, branding, artistry, recording, and songwriting, formerly known as branding, artistry, resources and skills, formerly known as recording and songwriting.
Okay.
And we take youth and we give them a safe space and a safe atmosphere, and we push entrepreneurship and the parallels of music, and how do we bring all those things together in creative ways that can pull the youth in.
So from your perspective, now we're going to get into this, how to spark your creativity for success, because you have to not just be a good person when it comes to business and finance, especially like when you think about things as far as marketing, you have to be creative.
Oh, yeah.
And not just in marketing, but being able to evolve, not just yourself personally, but your business have to continuously evolve and grow.
Right.
Or you become an ancient dinosaur.
They say even water gets stagnant if it sit too long. You believe that?
Water gets that? Really?
If it sit too long,
it
water
makes
get
sense,
old,
right?
So yeah.
So tell us, why do you feel it is important for an entrepreneur or just someone as an individual to have creativity and implement that into their daily life?
Oh man, daily life, and can we talk in business too?
Oh, definitely.
So 3 things, and I'll make them quick, but I believe that a lot of times when we talk creativity and then in business, it scares people. And I believe because I'm not that creative, I can't, because people automatically assume that when you're creating a business or have to be creative in it, you have to think of this thing that no one's ever done, that's never been, and that's what we think of when we think of creating a business. And creation simply means to bring something into existence.
Okay.
So being creative and business-wise is just simply doing. And then what happens is you have opportunities within your creation to become creative. And I believe there are 3 constructs that allow you to be creative inside of business. And one being structure. Structure of your business. You can be very creative in it because structure means just to put a pattern or organization or something. Right. So how's it going to flow? How's it going to work? How's it going to operate?
Processes.
Right? Just the processes, those things. And I get a real joy out of those. I love figuring out the processes of how I want something to flow, how I want it to be. Right. And in that structure, you can be very creative in it because you could structure your business just for, let's say, for the experience of your business. Take a QT, for instance.
Right.
You take a QT.
The gas station, for those who don't know.
There you go, the QT. There are thousands I know of store chains and local chains and whatever the case may be. It's a convenience store. There's thousands of convenience stores. Well, they're structured around the experience. They say when you're gonna pay, you're gonna be greeted, you're gonna pay, and you're gonna be exited in a way that we have conformed to just our construct, to our business, right? I always say you can fall asleep in a QT and you won't, and wake up and you will not know what state you in. Like if you just woke up in a QT, you wouldn't know where you at. You could be in Kentucky, you'd think you was the one right the street from your house. Right? Because they structured around the experience. Everything's gonna be in the same place. It's gonna be easily accessible, and you can feel that same way every time. So you can be creative just in the structure, of your business. And a lot of times
that's interesting though, that you use QT as an example. And now I'm thinking That's true. Like, you know, if you walk in, they got the men bathroom is always on that side. Right. Women bathroom, the grill is in the middle.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And it's just about, like I said, the way they're just a convenience store. There are plenty of convenience stores, but they say we're going to structure this experience and be creative with it. Because it's almost like QT people are not hired. It's like they're born. Like they're born a QTer, like because they
in the back.
You know what I'm saying?
In the back of QT.
They raise them up and they just born, you know, because they've created such a structure and experience that they got creative with. Even to the colors. All that was intentional.
You know what's crazy? That makes me think about ChickfilA.
There you go.
ChickfilA,
the other great example.
Yeah.
You know, we can have a debate. You can do a whole show on who has a better chicken sandwich, but it's going to be very hard for you to debate on the experience, though. Who has a better experience?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and they structured, even around the hardest times of the day, their structure and experience is the best. You know, and now you see everybody following suit. If you see another place come out with a tablet and tell you, man, you trying to be like Chick-fil-A. Right? Yeah. You know? So that's a way to be creative. And then two is the branding. Kind of the branding or the marketing. You know, that's how you communicate your uniqueness and your effectiveness, you know, to the people. And that is extremely, extremely, extremely important. You know, there should be money going towards it. There should be efforts going to it.
Yeah.
And if you really want to get funky, you put people dedicated to it.
You go, yeah.
Because that's how you communicate what it is that you have structured, right? And then lastly is your niche. And I believe you can get really creative in this. And watch this, though. I think it's like your niche should be able to talk to you, though. What I mean is talk to your business, because I feel like your business can move according to how consumers use your product. For instance, take a Nike. Why are they so relevant in political statements and things of that nature? Because the way people use their product, right? Because it has become a cultural trend.
Right.
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah, it's a culture.
And then that's the way it's utilized. That's the way the consumers use it. That's the way they take it. So who do they get to advertise? Athletes. Who are the biggest athletes they use? They're black. So they have to find their niche in cultural relevance. Right. Because of how people use their product. Converse, not so much. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And I'm sure that came from them actually saying, who's our core buyer?
There you go.
Who's our core buyer? Now that we understand who's our core buyer, now let's target our dollars to that group.
Because they've structured it, they've branded it, communicated it, that is for you. That is for you, athlete. Then they have certain things that say, well, hey, these are for the athlete. You don't even have to be this professional athlete the way we brand it. You just have to have on their gear.
Right.
And we feel that way. You don't put on a Nike suit and you just be walking faster. I don't know what's going on. I just got on this all Nike is how I feel.
That's right.
Because that's how they communicated it to you. And you can be in it. It's nothing but a jogging suit, tennis shoes, just like the other hundreds of companies who do it. But they have been creative in their approach. They just understand themselves. That's why the X factor in business and being creative in it is just you. It's just you. You don't have to, reinvent anything.
Right. Yeah, that's
true. You just have to do you for the first time. And I truly, truly believe that.
I agree to that, because there's a lot of people, especially in this day and age, that people follow the person. Mm-hmm. Like, people build their brands on Instagram, on Twitter, and people just follow that individual because they believe in what they're saying, what they're marketing, the service that they have. So Grant Cardone, right? And he just he's online, and people see his level of success from the time he started and watch him grow. And then people follow him as an individual. So when he do something like 10X, they're like, yeah, because I see him doing it, and I seen where he came from. So I follow and believe in him as an individual.
And then when you're unique enough in what you're doing, you can convince people to your product. You can convince them that they need it. You take Adolf Hitler. He took he was an amazing leader.
Right.
I mean, this guy told people what to believe. Ain't this how you feel? Ain't that right?
Not saying we're condoning.
No, not so. But I'm just saying.
Right, I definitely,
you know what I'm saying?
agree with.
Yeah, I don't agree with it, but it's the power of influence.
Right.
The power of understanding how to communicate a brand.
You know what's interesting about that is we were just talking about Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A now, they have commercials where they're just sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And one of the most powerful ways of marketing is through testimonials.
There you go.
And what they have done is they have took people to just say, hey, you know what? I seen a real nice one with a dog. A dog go up and grab the bag and bring it back to the owner. Yeah. But it's a testimonial about like, this is how great their service is. We love them, like the people too, and not just the food.
And you know what's so good about it too? What's so smart about it? Again, your business will talk to you, and it'll kind of construct your your niche. Because right now, what do people lack the most? That ability to be with their families, to be in those homes, to be around these people all the time. Right. So they have communicated to us that, hey, you know what? Just come over to us because we're your family too.
That's right.
And that people go.
Bring your dog too.
You know what? I'm finna ride a Chick-fil-A just because now you feel like they're a part of this, of your whole being now too. And they can bring you a feeling that you can't find anywhere. And that's a drive-through restaurant. You can't even come in there right now.
Right. And I could think of a 5-mile radius, every Chick-fil-A around lunchtime, the line is out to the streets.
Yep. And we've began to respect their grind so much that it's almost a challenge. You almost go to appreciate how they're about to handle this busiest time because we want to talk about it. Man, I was out here in 15 minutes. I would have never done that at so-and-so and so-and-so.
But this is God's chicken.
Right. Because they've communicated that even if there is a long line, we have structured ourselves in a way that you can be assured you're moving as fast as you could possibly move anywhere else. Even if you are backed up, we okay with it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we go on a consistent basis with a structure that's based around experience. So if I'm having a bad experience, it's definitely out of their hands because I know what that structure is.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
And that's the power, of being of influence and being creative in how you communicate your brand.
Man, I think of everything from different perspectives. If I was on the opposite side of the camera.
Okay.
And I'm saying, yeah, they make it seem so easy.
Right.
So if I'm that entrepreneur or business owner and I feel that I don't have that mind to just be creative. I was not born with that. How do I gain that spark?
I do believe in safe spaces. That's something that I really, really believe in, like having a safe space or a place that you can really, really get into a zone. I believe, they say like, what do they call it? Like a runner can have like runner's euphoria. Mm-hmm. And where I believe that's mentally. I know that our brains are so powerful and we have the power to think through almost anything. And I think we have to find opportunities to dedicate our mind power and our purpose. And so like for me, like if I go like to the mountains, whether we're going on a family vacation, or just going to relax, I know, and I have convinced myself that when I go to the mountains, if I sit on the back and just watch the mountain and drink coffee, I'm going to come up with something extremely unique, And I think that's a big part of it is dedicating time and opportunities toward what you are trying to pursue. And I think you'll be surprised and amazed at what'll come out of you.
That's interesting. I love that perspective, right? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's just as simple as that sometimes. Like, we allow everything else to take precedence over our entire life and where we're going and what we can do with our time and our life and our money. And we won't take time to sit and say, you know what? Let me feed what it is that I desire. And I believe if we take time to do that, because anything you take time to feed consistently or give light to consistently will grow.
What's your perspective on if my goal is to be successful? And I know we're talking about how to be creative, right, and the importance of that in success. What's your perspective on if I want to get to that next level, like what steps should I do? Like, so I'm that entrepreneur right now. If I got a shirt brand or if I sell hair products or if I got a barbershop or whatever I do as an entrepreneur, what steps? Because I see my future. I want to scale my business and grow it. But I feel I'm like at a standstill. So I'm thinking of the people on the opposite side of the camera.
Right.
Like, how can I take some steps and be more creative in my journey?
This is pretty cool, right? This is what I do. You can call it cheating if you want to. This is what I do.
Cheat, guys.
Yeah, just cheat. Just cheat. That's what I gotta do. What I do is I go and find who's figured it out in my niche and what I'm trying to do, and I go model it, or I go find it, and I go pull the meat from it. Because, you know, I don't have, again, a lot of things that if you're trying to be a photographer, videographer, grass, cut hair, I'm going in and find like the venture that I'm doing now. I went and found a business out in Texas, and I studied them like crazy. I don't want to tell them the business because I'm telling you what I'm doing. I ain't ready to launch yet. But I studied them like crazy, and I figured out how they operate.
Right.
And I said, okay, this is how they operate. Now, here are my strengths. Here's what I can do right now. I might not have 50 employees, but I got me. I got my wife. You know,
I got the core.
You know what I'm saying? I got the core. I got an office. I got a couple computers. All right, so you know, what can I put in place?
Right.
So the thing that you can do again is you go find who's already doing it, something that you can model, something that you can be inspired by. You know, that's what first thing we can't do. We can't be, you know, you don't want to work with nobody, you don't want to talk to nobody, you don't want to ask for no advice, you can't learn, you can't, this me, boo, I'm doing.
I started off checking it every other week, just like most people do. Then it got out of control. I couldn't help myself. I started checking it day after day after day. I didn't realize that I was becoming addicted until my wife said something.
What did she say?
She said, it's just a credit score, relax.
Are you checking your credit score?
Hold on.
We got to get out of that.
Right.
Because, you know, a lot of people have set forth and set paths that you should walk in. Now, you might tread off and you're going to do it your way, your creative and unique way, right, because you are the X factor, you know, but at the same time, you have to be able to look at others. And I think that's a very sensible way to try to scale.
You know what's interesting? Every company does that on a
Absolutely.
global scale. On a global scale, if you take like Samsung and they compete against other brands that sell TVs and cell phones, and they have a team. That's why you get R&D teams, because
there you go.
They look and see, okay, what is my competition doing? Yep. If you look at back in 2017, some of the features that BMW had, Mercedes had years ago, now you have Honda. Yep. You got Chevy coming out with these same things, just kick down and the trunk pop open, like all these things. These
same
luxury
stuff,
vehicles,
recycled, same. That's
all they did was look at, okay, who's our top competition? Yeah. Right, we can't compete against them, but imagine if we implemented some of their features that people love and put into our brand.
And then they start look at even like the branding, the commercials and everything. Now they're more like these real people. They find like these. Think about it. Commercials are a lot different now than they used to be.
Oh, yeah.
The way they communicate and the way they do it, like the Geico commercial, which I love.
Yeah.
I love the comedic aspect. But think about it. Sonics was doing that first. Remember Sonic and the two sitting in the car?
Two dudes.
And they changed the way that you present the product.
That's
and then everybody
creativity,
started,
yeah.
And it was simple. I bet you they spent the less on those commercials than they did on any high-tech $500,000. I bet you it was so much less. They said, we're going to shoot it right here in the parking lot. But we're going to identify to the people, to the niche, to the consumers on how they use our product.
Right.
Because they sit in here and talk and laugh. So that's how they started presenting it. Boom.
Creativity, though. That's all about being creative. How would you define success?
I would simply define success as I'm successful when I'm doing exactly what I want to do. When I'm doing exactly what I achieve or I'm trying to achieve. And I mean that. I'm not just trying to be cliche. Anybody know Ceej? I tread my own path. I walk my own lane. Like I can stand next to this artist, this business person, this entrepreneur. It don't matter. And because when I'm in the room, I'm so comfortable with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, when I'm doing exactly what I intended to do, and then the second part of that is with freedom. When I have freedom to do, to give, like this young man, or I like this, and I can give into it, or pour into it, or sow a seed into it because I want to. That's when I've reached my apex. And I don't got to think about it.
One thing that I just had a conversation about is like hitting a certain plateau of success. I think one thing that even the people that's following should think of when you talk about success is that freedom.
Right.
Because that's what it's all about. Like,
Yeah.
I used to be online all the time saying, hey, I'm up, grinding, working, and I still do. But I know for a fact, and I just had this conversation with someone above me. That's why I say always surround
Right.
yourself in a room of more intelligent people.
Right.
You see how I got on? So, but always surround yourself with someone that you're able to learn from. And one thing I learned, that a question that was asked upon me, if right now, if something happened to me, God forbid, if something happened to me, will everything continue to flow like I was still there?
Right.
And I was like, no.
Right.
So, and that's something that, even,
True.
yeah, you got to think of when you build that, like trying to get the success is about having that luxury to not be there. So that's the freedom. Like,
Nah, that's a great point. Can you duplicate it? I remember that's something that I always held on to when I first heard it. Can I duplicate myself within my business construct?
right.
And can I do that? And then yes, that's vital. Yeah.
Definitely vital. So I have a lot of young followers on
So young followers,
the culture,
young millionaires.
young millionaire, YMA. If y'all don't know who Ceej is,
That's the association.
That's
That
the
sound familiar,
association.
don't it?
That's who it is. And if you haven't heard it, make sure you scroll down in the comment section and you will see Al Harris Boss Move song. Go ahead and click that and watch the video.
The intro y'all hear, I'll do you an intro. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just, you got to pay for it, but I got you.
He got you. How would they contact you?
You going to go to, I can't tell them the email, bookceej@gmail.com.
That's
BOOKCEEJ@gmail.com. I get you a jingle, whatever you need. Look, I'll be a guest. Let's make it happen.
He'll get you a jingle too, guys.
Say it like that.
Yeah. So what advice would you give right now? Like, we're going to end the show. But before I end the show, Joe, let me just give one high point of advice to the young culture.
Okay. I say one quick thing, then I'll leave one quick statement. The one quick thing is leave room, because sometimes you start something, you create something, you moving in it, it feels good, it seems right, and you're going, and then all of a sudden it shifts. It shifts, and then you have to say, okay, all right, it's not a failure, but I got to restart. I've had to do that plenty of times. You gotta
Everyone
reset.
does.
You know what I'm
People
saying?
need to learn that.
And a lot of times people will. It's dead for them at that point.
Right.
That's not the right ideal to have. You have to leave room to grow. Watch this. If I were to get you a pair of shoes that were too big, right now you would have a big issue with it. You say, these ain't my size. I got to take them back. But for a baby, for that toddler, if it was a size too big, would you say, don't grow into it anyway?
That's right.
Because you are completely understand that this is, I have to leave room for this to grow, right? And I think that sometimes we come into it, again, maybe we're comparing it to another business, comparing it to somebody else, don't know what our success metric is, and then we go into it looking for an adult size, right? It got to fit just right, it got to be just right, and really at that stage, at that toddler stage, it was just, no, you just need to leave room to grow. Because it's going to grow in this, because you don't even know how big these feet going to get in the end. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes we start at the wrong place. And so I would say leave room to grow. You know what I'm saying? Buy your stuff too big. Don't keep doing stuff. You've hit one part of your business, and that one leg, that one arm is doing well. But if you keep doing it over and over and over, you'll never grow. You become stagnant because you never left room. You never said, okay, what's next? How do I build on top of this? How do I keep going? Even water gets stagnant if it sits too long. And lastly, the last statement I'll make with that is, you're right. No, that's it. You're right. Yeah. Whatever you believe in yourself and what you're doing, you're right. So think about that right now. Whatever you're thinking or been experiencing, feeling like you can't do, where you at, you're right.
You are right. You're not wrong. You're right. I'm going to give Ceej a round of applause.
So many people out here.
Put
your mask on. I'm just playing.
Social distancing.
All right.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us for Wealth Building Monday. Understanding all these small things could help you as you move forward with your level of success. So thank you again for watching Wealth Building Monday.
Yeah.
We got to turn on our outro music. Episode, Ceej, we're at episode number 32.
32? I gotta figure out what
32.
32 mean. That gotta mean something significant. Because it got to, because I'm on here. And that's what I believe. And guess what? I'm right.
Yeah, he's right. Guys, so thank you for following us, watching us. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the YMA Nation. There you go. Look,
Well,
even
Building
Ceej,
Monday, man.
even Ceej
Stop
said
playing with
it.
me. I'm taking this home. For real.
He can have it. Look,
taking this home.
in the mug. Okay, you can't have the mug. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
See y'all.
for Real Estate Wednesday. Rebecca will be back. She on vacation, I think. She's not. She's here in the building. But we'll see you guys. Make
Love
sure you
y'all.
like, comment, subscribe. Hashtag YMA Nation down in the comment section. And you will be in our cash drawing.
Cash drawing. We
Oh,
might give
Lord.
you one of these.
He just took everything.
You might get one of these,
Man,
baby.
we had a wonderful show. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
View what the boss's view. You gotta sacrifice. You wanna move like bosses move.
YMA, Young Millionaires Association. Yeah, see, that's the association. Joe.